Right, today I'm discussing a certain movie of sorts called He's All That. It is starring none other than Addison Rae and Tana Buchanan, who's kind of gorge, we can't lie. But Addison's in it, and that's the important thing. So the film opens in a pink ass room. There's a ring light. We're thinking like, so she's some sort of influencer, and we see Addison awaken. And in this film, her name is Pageant, much like that of a beauty pageant. She's dead awesome, like queen boss. She gets up, she gets ready, and then gets back into bed, goes live and is like, hey guys, I just woke up. We all know the truth, Addison. You are a fake. The girl was live and she's a brand deal icon, and she's giving all the top tips. The girls are like, oh, my skin's dry, and she's like, well, use this. And we're like, oh, she's like doing some sort of a brand deals. So she lives in this like hopped up, bright, well, not bright, but pink room. And we're like, oh, so she's rich. And she steps out of her room and boom, she's poor. So off the girl pops for school. Her friends are picking it up, but she walks to like some really fancy like area, and then the girls pick her up, and because they think she lives there, she's lying. She's having a little chit chat with the girls, and she mentions someone called Jordan, and then we get a criminal scene, and it pans out to him singing and dancing. Then, shortly later, it pans to a shot of what we have to assume is the main man of the film. And it's Tana Buchanan, who was in Cobra Kai. And he hates Jordan's music, which is understandable because it is literally bullshit. He keeps saying like deep things, and he's kind of gross and has long hair. And we're like, ew, you suck. He gets to school and he's hanging out with his quirky friend. We're like, oh, so they're the quirky girls, like, what's going on? Beauty pageant is meeting her boo, she's meeting Jordan. She brought with her some croquembouche. What is that? Turns out though, she pulls up to his trailer. Turns out he's cheating, and she goes cray cray. Rightfully so. And she spits what I can only describe as a cold line. You deserve my croquembouche, you croquembouche! She really just slayed hard. But she was going to surprise him, and she was on live. It turns out it was left on live. So everyone's seen this. She then is just staying at her crib. After this incident, she's not leaving the house. She's like embarrassed. And she's on the telephone to her friend who is at school, and she's like, have you not checked the timeline? Have you not checked Twitter, babe? And she's like, no. So she goes on, and turns out she's been like bullied. She's called Bubble Girl because of some snot that was coming out her nose. After finding about this absolute PR disaster, she starts getting a call from someone, and it's Kourtney Kardashian. Not as herself, but as like some woman called like, I don't remember, like Jessica or something, who's like her brand manager. And she's pissed. She's like gonna pull her sponsorship because like naturally the snot isn't on brand for bunny venom. I think that's what it was called. It's dumb. And she was so real. She literally said, don't talk to me. She's so real for that. She said, literally don't talk to me, don't come by my house, don't contact me. And I like second that. I wouldn't want Addison Rae to call me either. There's this whole like PR disaster, obviously, with the whole cheating scandal, but somehow Jordan came out on top and everyone's like, oh, he's real. And I'm like, y'all dumb. Addison Rae thinks, she's like, I made that guy so I can make another one. So her and her friend Alden have a little bet moment, and they're like, oh, Addison, make a new prom king, and then you win. I don't really know what she won. They go around the school as a bit of a montage, and guess who gets picked to be the victim? It's the quirky guy. And this guy is so like deep girl coded, and he's always taking pictures, and it's like, this is reflective of society. And I'm like, realistically, is it? You're just taking pictures like of a bin or something? But not short later, beauty pageant goes up to him to get, you know, the ball rolling, and he's being a bit of a banana. But she has a little chit chat with the sister and finds out his likes and his dislikes, his pros and cons. One of them was the fact that he's a horse boy. So the next morning, she shows up at the stables where he goes every day, and he's like, literally, what are you doing here? And I'm like, that's so real, because she literally stalked him. She's like, teach me how to ride horse, and he's like, yeah, but like, first you should shovel shit. Ooh, I personally wouldn't. So she wants a #riding lesson from him on a horse, not anything else. She's like constantly taking photos, and he's always like, is that necessary? She falls off the horse and she literally falls into some shit and then proceeds to throw some at him. I'm sorry, but if someone threw shit at me, I would literally jump off the bridge. Soon after this palaver, Addison is talking to the quirky girlies and invites them to a karaoke party. So the girlies end up going, and I low-key think that this film is sponsored like Pizza Hut, because they kept like talking about it and having like the logo everywhere. And also KFC, now I think about it, because there was a part where they just kept talking about KFC. Paget's two friends are doing a little karaoke moment and they suck a lot. They're really, really bad. But beauty pageant, it's her turn to sing now. So she does a little sing song, and she decides to do like a TikTok-esque dance while she sings, and she's all like. But midway through her performance, Jordan shows up and she's like thrown off. She's like, oh, this guy cheated on me, like a humiliation. In a moment of heroicness, the long-haired boy goes up and starts singing a #duet with her to, you know, like ease the nerves, and then they start like singing well together. So on the drive back from a party, she's like really sneaky, and Addison slips something into his car. So she like forgot it. So like she's gonna have to like go back and see him and get it. But she gets a call from Kourtney Kardashian, literally being like, oh, if you give like that random karaoke boy a makeover, the sponsorship is back on. So naturally Addison's like, I've got to do this now, like I've got to do it. So she gets another horse riding lesson from him. There's a bit of a flirty vibes going on. They end up hanging out in a variety of locations, like the stables, other places, and they end up in like some odd like station type thing. She decides to invite him to this Great Gatsby themed party her friend is throwing, and he's like, yeah. And then there's a bit of a montagey moment. He gets a haircut. Like, literally thank God. Like, the long hair was not good, and now he looks like fine as hell. What was weird though is his sister literally said, oh, if I wasn't your sister, I would say you were hot. And I think that's really, really weird. The girlies, after the montage, they arrive at this party, and it is literally insane. And might I just say, Jordan is so icky, and I literally hate him. He literally grosses me out. So he tries to apologise to Paget for everything. She's like, no. And that's rightfully so, because he's like not good looking. Then he tries to raes Horseboy's younger sister. There's more flirty vibes between Horseboy and Addison Rae. He calls her beautiful when they're in like a photo booth. But the beautiful moment is broken by some drama. The girlies are fighting over Horseboy's younger sister. So now Tanner and Jordan are having a little scrap because he tried to get with his sister, which is a bit weird. Oh my god, I just realised what his name is. It's Cameron. So Cameron is kind of a girl boss at this fight. Like, he's kind of really real at karate, and I'm like, is this his inner like Cobra Kai like shining through? Cameron low-key won. Not low-key, he did win. But Jordan, as like one final like funny, threw his camera in a pool, and he's pissed. We get a few like scenes from after everyone's left the party, and it turns out that Jordan and Paget's friend, the one who made the bet with her, have a little thing and are like supposedly hooking up. And we're like, turns out her friend Alden is literally evil, and she wants to be prom queen, and she's literally wants to kill Addison. She didn't say that, but that's the vibe she was giving off. After Cameron just sees Jordan existing, he's pissed. And he's like, I'm gonna run for prom queen now. Wait. Prom king. He invites Addison over, you know, to make reparations of sorts. Shows her his dark room where he has all the photographs. And this is like famously a big deal in this world because he's like a very like private person. Bri has photographic raes and they end up kissing. But after he says like something about trust, she's like, uh-oh, and she runs away because famously he's a bear. Cameron decides it's time to prompose. So he does like a really cringe proposal, which just really upset me. Like he comes up holding flowers and like a big picture of her. And evil friend is here and she thinks, wow, this is the perfect moment to reveal the truth. And she tells him and he's pissed. He goes absolutely AWOL, like he disappears. No one can reach him. But beauty pageant actually has a plan for some big thing to happen at the prom to like win him back. So we get to the day, we get to the prom, and there is like a dance battle going on at prom. What is going on? It's weird. Addison starts dancing, I guess, because she's on some like team of dance. Jordan and evil friend start like dancing back, so it turns into a dance battle. And it's really weird. Big reveal moment. Jordan won prom king and beauty pageant won prom queen. So she does like a slay speech about being quirky and slaying hard and being real. All to like win back Horseboy's love and affection. So she starts to leave because she's like, oh, he's not here, like that was a waste. But as she leaves, she gets an ominous phone call. She's like, hello? And turns out it's him. And she looks in the direction and turns out he's over there on a horse. They have their little word exchange because obviously he saw the speech being like live streamed, so he's seen it all. And they exchange some nice words. And then they kiss. And it's that basic, you're like, oh, this is the end of the film. But no, they start dancing. And I'm like, realistically, there was no music in that field. So what are you dancing to? The birds? And as kind of an epilogue moment, it shows that they start traveling together. They start traveling to places. They're more real. Like she's wearing less glam. She's more wearing like country girl vibe clothing. And they're just staying real. In conclusion, I think, what? We have to be like, what is going on? And I think the moral of the story is that hot people win. It was just quite an odd film. It was a bit cringe. There was a lot of brand deals in there. That's something I can say. All in all, strange. You can sit here and you can think about that. But I'm gonna go. I'm gonna drink a cup of tea. Alright, bye-bye.